fellow book lovers, welcome back to the Bibliovert channel. My name is Jacqueline. So I am so excited about this video because I am going to be doing a 24-hour readathon, but my goal is to read some of the books from last week's video, which is my fall TBR. So hopefully all of the books I read today will be kind of that fall spooky atmospheric vibe. So I have a stack of books that I'm really excited about that I would kind of like to get to pretty quickly. I have zero expectations of reading all of these in 24 hours. I think that would be quite difficult. However, we do have some really good options. The first one that I think I'm going to read ASAP, and ironically, I didn't put this on either one of the videos, the fall TBR and my favorite fallish books to recommend, but several of our patrons are reading right now and it's really making me want to read it. Like last December, I think our book buddy read of the month was Kingdom of the Wicked by Carrie Maniscalco, and I, for the most part, like enjoyed it, but I didn't love it, with the exception of Wrath. I loved him so much, and he really was like the main reason that I liked the book. So today I actually went and picked up Kingdom of the Cursed by Carrie Maniscalco. This just came out. So I think this one might actually be the very first one that I read. I'm really excited. So Carrie has now moved this series from YA to NA. Kingdom of the Wicked was a young adult novel. Kingdom of the Cursed is new adult. So I'm interested to see how that's gonna change some things up. But this one I think will be #1 priority for this video. But then I'm so excited about this one. I picked up The Last Graduate by Naomi Novik. I devoured A Dudley Education. I think the cover is absolutely stunning. I'm hoping that I remember it well enough that I don't need to do a reread because it has been about a year, but I've kind of been thinking through it and thinking through the plot and different things that happened, especially the ending, and I feel fairly confident that I'm going to be able to start it, jump right in, and not have any questions, but we'll see how big of an epic fail that is. Another one that is a massive priority read to me is The Atlas 6 by Olivie Blake. I just like, it's the dark academia vibes. So again, I don't think there's any way that I'm gonna be able to read this many books in 24 hours. But it's a good problem to have. Like, I'm happy that I'm excited about this many books. Want I just am torn out which one to do next. I think some of them will go by quite quickly. But I mean, I want to read it so bad. So this one's another mega priority for me. We'll see if I can get to it. We also have Good Girl, Bad Blood by Holly Jackson, and this is the sequel to A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, which I adored everything about it. I've had this one on my bookshelf for quite a while, so it's not like a massive priority read to me. However, I am really excited about it. And what's funny and like kind of cute is that in this book, she has actually started a true crime podcast. So we like have the podcasting aspect in common. But I don't know why I haven't like just jumped to pick it up. I think I loved A Good Girl's Guide to Murder so much that I was like, I don't want to be disappointed by the sequel, but I really don't think I'm going to. I think it's going to be really, really good. So this one, I want to get to it this fall for sure. And if I need a quick read, I think that this one's not super long, so I could maybe wrap it up if I needed to this weekend, but we'll see. I also have in this stack The Hawthorne Legacy by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is the sequel to the Inheritance games, which I absolutely adored. It's very like Knives Out. If you saw that movie, very, very similar to that. I have really been anticipating this sequel. So again, it's not going to be super long, so I think it could be a fast read. So if I kind of need to sneak those in there to get another book, I think I could do that, but we'll see. I have no idea. Okay, and the last one I am excited about, but also kind of scared because I think it's the one that's going to be the most outside of my comfort zone. A lot of these other books in this stack that I have been sequels to books that I know and love, but this one, I just don't quite know what to think about it, but it is The Maidens by Alex Michaelides. So I talked about this one a lot in the last video. The blurb just sounds really, really interesting, but I just don't know if it's gonna be a little too different than what I'm used to and if I'll enjoy it or not. But these are the ones that I think I am going to attempt to get to this weekend. We'll see how many I can do, but I do think I'm gonna start with Kingdom of the Cursed. So let's do this. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, I am kind of conflicted on whether or not I should just like go balls to the walls and share all of my thoughts, spoiler free of course, or if I should just kind of give a little one sentence and move on. I finished Kingdom of the Cursed by Carrie Maniscalco, and I am so mad. I'm so mad. Let's go balls to the walls. Why not? First off, it took me a long time to get into this book. It's 1 o'clock in the morning, and it took me so much longer than it should have to read this book. I just had the hardest time like wanting to read it. I was getting really distracted. I was in a reading mood, but it was just like moving really slow. And I know I'm a plot driven person, but like I didn't even really feel like this book had character development either. It was just really, really slow. It was kind of giving me the Crown of Gilded Bones vibes by Jennifer L. Armentrout, in the sense that like they really stayed in only one place and then didn't leave. And then just like nothing happened for so long. And eventually at the end, like things were starting to like pick up, but they were all kind of twists and turns that I had already expected or kind of seen coming. So I didn't really feel like anything like exciting or like shocked me happened. I like also was really excited about Wrath going into this book because I adored him in Kingdom of the Wicked, and I am borderline repulsed by him in this book. There is a chapter, it's chapter 17, that like had no business being in this book. And I was really upset about it while reading it. I was really upset about it after the chapter had happened. And quite frankly, I'm just like really disappointed about how it happened. And then the conversations afterwards about it, the thought process about it afterwards as well, just like really did not sit well with me. And I just didn't really feel like it got resolved in an appropriate manner. So like I just didn't love that, and that like really affected my experience while reading this. And even though I wasn't going to enjoy reading it before, it like tanked it in my opinion. I just really felt uncomfortable while reading it. And then lastly, like, I know that we had moved from YA to NA, but I felt like that was the sole purpose and focus of this book, that was kind of like this like tension, this need for tension was the 100% focus of this book, rather than it being just added in there. And so I feel like the plot suffered for it. I feel like the character suffered for it, just because that was kind of everything for the book. So needless to say, I'm super bummed. I don't know if I even want to read book 3. I'm not really interested in like where the story's going after this, and I just don't really like any of the characters anymore. I'm just really bummed. Which I like don't really know what I was expecting, just because like I know how I felt about the other books. But this one was a little bit farther than what I was kind of expecting it to be. So I'm a little bit disappointed, but I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm off my soapbox, no more rambling, I promise. So yes, this one's done, book 1 is done. I am going to pick up The Last Graduate by Naomi Novik. I'm thinking that it will be quick. We'll see after how long it took me to read Kingdom of the Cursed. But I am gonna go ahead, read this bad boy, and then maybe we'll see if we can hit a 3rd, but I'd be a little bit surprised. So let's do it. Okay, this is going so much better already. I made it about halfway through The Last Graduate last night, and I am already enjoying it so much more than I enjoyed Kingdom of the Cursed, which makes me super, super happy, because I absolutely loved A Deadly Education. Just the concept of like a magical school that's trying to kill you, I love. Also, I thoroughly enjoyed Elle in the first book, even though she's not my typical character that I find myself wanting to root for. She's kind of like an anti-hero in the sense that like she's very deadly and very, very powerful, very prickly, like a loner and all these kinds of things. However, the growth that she has had in this book so far has just been so enjoyable. I will say it started to get a little bit slow in the middle, and I found myself like able to put it down and go to sleep. But that could have been just because it was really, really late, but I don't know. So I'm so happy to keep reading. I have not been able to stop thinking about it. So I'm like very, very excited to continue and finish this one today. Okay, so I have clearly gone over 24 hours, but I could not stop reading The Last Graduate by Naomi Novik. I sobbed through the last 30 pages of this book. It was so good. It was so good. Now, I would say that there's like a solid 20% of this book that I had no idea what was going on. I don't even care. It was so good. It was so good. I think Naomi Novik is just way too smart for me, and it just went over my head. But I was able to piece it all together and kind of make sense of, I think what she was saying, it at least made sense to me. But like, the growth that the characters had and the ending, and it kind of ended on a cliffhanger, and I guess there's going to be a book 3, which I'm so excited about. But I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It was exactly what I needed after reading Kingdom of the Cursed. 5 out of 5 stars for me. Again, even though I didn't understand part of it, I don't care. 5 out of 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. It was a little slow in the middle. I don't care. 5 out of 5 stars. It was so good. It was so good. Just, I loved it. I loved it. So I'm going to go ahead and bullet journal these 2 books, make sure that I write down all my thoughts and everything like that, get that settled. So let's go ahead and jump on into that. Alright, well that is it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I absolutely loved doing this. Even though I didn't love one of the books that I read, it still ended up being so much fun. I really enjoyed it. I didn't read quite as many books as I was hoping to, so maybe next time I'll read more. Don't forget to check out our podcast, the Bibliovertpodcast, where we have episodes every single week where we just talk about books and have a really great time. We also have a Patreon that is filled with some of the most amazing book-loving people ever. We have such a good time. We do a monthly book buddy read, as well as one of those monthly episodes are solely for our patrons. So it is Patreon exclusive. No one else is going to hear it but them. And also check out our Instagram, the Bibliovert Podcast. But I hope you have a fantastic week. Happy reading, and I'll see you next time.